Hello everyone, I'm Pradeep Singh. The commands that I'm going to cover today as part of Intro to SQL tutorial will mostly dealt in creating, manipulating databases and tables in SQLite. I'm pretty sure after going through all these commands, you will feel more comfortable in playing around with data in SQLite. So the first command that I'm going to cover is how to create database in SQLite. In SQLite, you can create database using following command, where you can tell the system where you want to create the database file along with the name of the file and extension .db. This extension .db is crucial because it tells the system that file that we want to create is a database file. So let's take an example. First of all, type SQLite 3 that tell the system that we want to create a database file in SQLite. Then comes the name of our file. In our case, we are naming our database file as testdb with an extension .db. This extension will tell the SQLite 3 that file that we are creating is a database file. And then press enter. You can see no error was thrown by the system. That means our command was successful. What do you think? Our database file was created or not? You can find this using another command called find databases. This is our second command that we will be learning today. Find database command gives us a list of databases in the current directory. In order to use it, you have to type .database inside the SQLite prompt. Let's take an example of this as well. Now we are inside the SQLite prompt. Just type .databases. You can see SQLite has given us the address of databases present inside the current directory. So this means we have a database file called testdb.db created earlier in our current directory. Now moving to our third command, which is how to export the complete database. You can think of a situation where you want to send your database file to some of your friends, family members, or some colleagues, or for some work related purposes. In such situations, you would like to have a file which is much more easy to send or much more easy to attach. For these purposes also, SQLite gives us a command called export complete database command, in which we can use .dump command just to export all the contents, the entire database into a text file. Let's take an example of this, how we can do this. For this, you have to type SQLite first, just to tell the system that we have to export a file inside SQLite, and then the name of the file that we want to export, testdb.db. Then the .dump command, which is basically you're dumping all the contents of testdb file into a new file which is named as testdb.sql, and then press enter. You can see the system has given us no error. That means our command was successful and we have successfully copied all the content of testdb.db into a testdb.sql file. Now moving to our fourth command, which is creating tables in SQLite. Now tables are the most crucial part of any database that helps us to manage our entire data. You can create the table using create table statement that creates a new table in any given database. In order to create any table, you have to define three things. The first is the database name. Second is the name of the table, that is what's the name of a table gonna be. Then comes the number of columns that you're gonna have. You have to have the name of all the columns and then also the name of all the data types. Let's take an example of creating table as well. Let's think of we want to make a table for a company. So type create table, which is a statement for create table command. Now comes the name of our table. In our case, we are creating a table for company with the name company, which will hold information about the employees of company. The name of our first column would be ID. In this column, we are going to store the IDs of all the employees, and the type of this column would be int, because IDs are usually in integer type, right? Then comes the third column. Let's have a column by name. This will hold all the names of the employees, and the type of this is going to be text, because names are obviously going to be in text. Then let's have a column by name age, which will hold all the ages of all the employees. Again, age is always in number, so it's going to be integer type. Then let's have a column by name salary, and its data type is going to be real. And then let's print enter. We can see SQLite prompt has given us no errors. That means our command was successful. I'm pretty sure that we must have created a table, but let's create one more table before we check whether the table that we have created has been created or not. Let's create another table by name department, which is nothing but very similar to company table only, but I just want to give you some practice. Again, this table will also hold the column ID with same data type int. Then we can have something, let's say department, with from which department you are. It's going to have data type as character. Then let's have another column by employee ID. It's going to be integer, and let's finish it off. We can see that our command was again successful. That means no error was given. Now you have learned how to create a table. Now let's see if we want to check out the tables that we have created are actually present in the system or not. We can use another command which is called find tables. This is used to find tables that were created inside a database. In this, you have to just type dot tables in the SQLite prompt, and it will list down all the tables that are present in that database. So previously we have created two tables by name company and by name department. So ideally, by typing this commands tables should give us tables. Yeah, you can see now. This command dot tables is giving us the name of two tables that were created earlier. So this is how you can find the tables in a database. Now let's move to the next command, which is how you can get information about a given table. Let's say that there are some tables and you want to know about what the dimension of that table is, what kind of columns and what kind of data types that particular table is consist of. In that case, all you have to do is just go in SQLite prompt and just type dot schema and name of the table. Schema company is the name of a table, and the moment we press enter, it gives us the name of the table and its column name and its data type. Moving to the next command, how we can drop a given table from a database. This can be done by using a drop command. This helps us to drop any given table from a database. Let's take an example of this. You can do this using drop table statement followed by the name of the table that you want to drop. Let's say we want to drop table company and then press enter. You can see no error was thrown. That means the table company was deleted from a database. But in order to check, we can use a command that we have learned earlier just to find whether the number of tables are present in a database or not. We can use dot tables. This will give us a list of tables that are present in database. The moment we enter, you can see now we only have one table, that is department. The table company was dropped Moving to the next command, and this is the attached database. Attached database statement is used to select a particular database and give it an Alice name. You can think of it as something which helps you to use the name of database as something else so that it's easy to use for you. Now, taking an example of it, write an attached database statement followed by the name of database that you want to attach. In this case, we are attaching testdb.db as test, and then press enter. Now, the testdb.db was actually given another name called test by attached database command. In order to check that, you can use a command that we learned earlier, .databases, just to see the list of database are present. Let's try that again. You can see now there are two databases present in our system right now. One is the main database, that is testdb.db that we have defined earlier, and the other one is again the same thing but with a different name, that is test, that we have just defined using attached database statement. Moving to the another command, which is just the opposite of attached database. With detached database, you can do the just the opposite of attached database. Once your work with your database is finished and then you again want to switch to the original version of it database, you can just do the same thing but in a reverse manner, where you type the statement detach and database with the name of the alias that you previously defined, and just press enter. Now it's done. Let's check it again whether the thing that we have detached, whether that was detached really or not. To do that, let's find out databases, and now you can see the alias name that we have given to our database previously by using attached database command was detached by our detached database command that we just did now. Now moving to the next command, which is quit SQLite. Once you're done with your work in SQLite, once you have done with manipulating and all kinds of work, there's this simple command .quit that you have to type in SQLite prompt that will quit the entire workspace that you have been using till now. In order to use that, just type quit and press enter. And you can see now we have come out of our SQLite prompt. That means we have successfully exited the SQLite prompt. Now that's as far as the commands are concerned. I'm pretty sure that you must have enjoyed this session of Introduction to SQL tutorial with me, Megan, and Alexis. And now moving to the next part of it, you can learn more about SQL if you want to learn, if you are interested in it. These are some of the useful resources to learn and practice SQL and some other database concepts. We have encoded the links in these slides. You can just click on this link and it will take you to all these links where you can learn a lot of good stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. It was really nice teaching you SQL. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.